Someone is listening to a friend who just lost their job. The friend is talking, voice shaking, eyes wet, hands gripping a coffee cup like it might steady them. They're saying things like, "I don't know what I'm going to do," and "I feel like such a failure." On the outside, you nod. You say, "I'm so sorry, that's really hard." You might even reach across the table and touch their hand. But inside, something else is happening. Your mind is already jumping ahead. You're thinking about how to fix it. Maybe they should update their resume. Maybe they should network more. Or you're comparing it to your own experience. "When I lost my job, I just kept applying everywhere." Or you're feeling uncomfortable with the silence and the tears, so you start talking to fill the space. Your friend keeps sharing, but you've quietly left the conversation. You're still physically there, still making eye contact, still saying the right words. But emotionally, you've stepped back. You're managing the moment instead of being in it. Later, you might wonder why the conversation felt hollow, why your friend seemed to pull away, or why you feel tired and disconnected, even though you were being supportive. That gap between appearing to care and actually feeling with someone is where authentic empathy lives or dies. It's not about saying the right thing. It's about staying present with someone else's pain without rushing to solve it, compare it, or escape from it. Someone might look like they're good at empathy on the outside. They say comforting things. They ask thoughtful questions. They show up when people are struggling. But in romantic relationships, their partner says, "I don't feel like you really hear me." The partner shares something vulnerable. Maybe they're scared about the future, or they feel invisible in the relationship. And instead of sitting with that feeling, the person immediately offers solutions. "Well, have you tried this?" Or "You shouldn't worry so much." Their partner doesn't want a strategy. They want to be felt, not fixed. So they stop sharing the deeper stuff and start keeping it inside. At work, a colleague is visibly upset about being passed over for
promotion. This person listens for a minute, then says, "Yeah, that happened to me once too," and the conversation shifts to their own story. They think they're relating, connecting, but the colleague feels unheard, like their pain was just a springboard for someone else's experience. In family dynamics, a sibling calls, overwhelmed and anxious. This person listens briefly, then says, "You just need to take it one day at a time. Don't stress so much." The sibling says, "Yeah, you're right," and the call ends. But nothing feels settled. The sibling still feels alone. When they're alone, this person replays conversations and feels a quiet guilt. Why didn't that land? Why do people seem distant with me, even though I try to help? They tell themselves they care, and they do, but they're performing empathy more than embodying it. Saying the words, doing the gestures, but not fully entering the emotional space with the other person. The roots of this pattern often go back to childhood. Authentic empathy isn't something we're all taught how to do. A girl grows up in a home where emotions are treated like problems to solve quickly. When she cries, her parent says, "Don't cry. Here, let's go get ice cream." When she's scared, they say, "There's nothing to be afraid of. Just be brave." She learns that emotions are inconvenient, something to fix or distract from, not something to sit with. As an adult, when someone shares pain, her first instinct is to make it go away as fast as possible, not because she's cold, but because she was never shown that it's okay to just stay in the discomfort with someone. A boy is taught early on that feelings are weak, especially his own. Stop whining, toughen up. Why are you making such a big deal out of this? He learns to shut down his emotions, so he doesn't know what to do with other people's emotions either. When a friend is hurting, he feels awkward and lost. He might default to logic, advice, or changing the subject, not because he doesn't care, but because he was never taught the language of emotional presence. Sometimes the pattern comes from being the helper or fixer in the family. A child becomes the one who takes
of everyone else's feelings, smooths over conflict, cheers people up. They learn that their value comes from solving problems, not from simply being present. So in adulthood, they can't just sit with someone's sadness. It feels useless, passive. They have to do something, say something, offer something. This connects to a psychological concept called cognitive empathy versus affective empathy. Cognitive empathy is understanding someone's emotions intellectually, knowing that they're sad, knowing why. Affective empathy is actually feeling with them, letting their emotional state touch you, resonate in your own body. Many people develop strong cognitive empathy, but weak affective empathy. They can analyze what someone is going through. They can say the right things, but they struggle to actually be emotionally present.
to let someone else's pain or joy move through them without managing it, deflecting it, or making it about themselves. Authentic empathy lives in that affective space. It's not just understanding, it's feeling with, staying with, being moved by another person's inner world without immediately trying to change it. In everyday life, the absence of authentic empathy shows up in ways that can feel subtle but significant. At work, a team member is struggling with burnout. They mention it quietly in a meeting. "I'm really overwhelmed right now." Someone with performative empathy might say, "Yeah, we're all busy, just hang in there." That's dismissal disguised as support. The burned out person leaves the conversation feeling more alone than before, like their struggle doesn't count because everyone is busy. In romantic relationships, one partner shares a fear or insecurity. Maybe they say, "I've been feeling really disconnected from you lately." The other partner, uncomfortable with the heaviness, immediately responds with reassurance. "No, we're fine, you're just stressed." They think they're comforting, but what they're actually doing is shutting down the vulnerable moment. The first partner stops sharing, starts keeping feelings inside, and the emotional distance grows. In family dynamics, a parent is upset about aging, loss, or change. Their adult child
Listens for 30 seconds, then says, "Well, at least you have your health," or "You should try staying positive." The parent feels dismissed. They wanted someone to sit in the sadness with them for a moment, not to be told how to feel differently. In friendships, one friend is going through a breakup. They're crying, angry, confused. The other friend, meaning well, says, "You're better off without them. You'll find someone better." They think they're helping, but the friend going through the breakup doesn't want platitudes. They want to be allowed to grieve without being rushed to the silver lining. The obvious signs of missing authentic empathy include jumping to advice or solutions before the person has even finished speaking, redirecting the conversation to your own similar experience, minimizing someone's feelings with phrases like, "It's not that bad," or "at least." The subtle signs include feeling anxious or uncomfortable when someone cries or sits in silence, a sense of performing care, saying the right words but feeling hollow inside, people thanking you for listening but seeming emotionally distant afterward, a pattern of friendships and relationships where people don't come to you with deep, vulnerable things. There's often a moment of confusion. Why do people say I don't listen when I always try to help? The answer is that helping and empathizing are not the same thing. Helping is action-oriented. Empathy is presence-oriented. The cost of staying stuck in performative empathy is real. Relationships stay surface level. People around you may describe you as kind or supportive, but also feel like they can't really open up to you. You yourself might feel exhausted from constantly trying to say the right thing, yet still sensing that something isn't landing. Connection starts to feel like work instead of rest. It's easy to think of a lack of authentic empathy as a character flaw or proof that you're selfish. But what if it's not a moral failure, just a skill you were never taught? When someone rushes to fix another person's pain, it's often because they can't tolerate their own discomfort. Sitting with someone else's sadness, anger, or fear means feeling some of that yourself. And if you were raised to believe that emotions are dangerous, weak, or inconvenient, your nervous system will want to escape that moment as quickly as possible. So the urge to give advice, compare stories, or change the subject isn't cruelty, it's self-protection. It's saying, I can't be in this feeling with you because it's too much for me. That's information. It shows you where your own emotional capacity needs care and expansion. Authentic empathy also requires the ability to separate yourself from the other person. If you absorb other people's emotions completely, if their sadness becomes your sadness, their anxiety becomes your anxiety, that's not empathy, that's enmeshment. You lose yourself in their experience and can't be a steady presence for them. True empathy is feeling with someone while still knowing where you end and they begin. It's being moved by their pain without drowning in it. That takes practice, self-awareness, and emotional regulation. Another reframe. The discomfort you feel when someone is vulnerable is not a sign that you should leave the moment. It's a sign that something real is happening. Authentic connection lives in those uncomfortable spaces, the pauses, the tears, the not knowing what to say. You don't need the perfect words, you just need to stay. Let's explore some practical ways to build authentic empathy in everyday moments. 1. Notice when you jump to fixing.
Why it helps. The impulse to solve, advise, or redirect is often automatic. Noticing it gives you a chance to pause and choose presence instead. How to do it. For 1 week, pay attention to conversations where someone shares something hard. Notice your internal reaction. Do you immediately think of advice? Do you want to share your own story? Do you feel uncomfortable and want to lighten the mood? Just notice. You don't have to change anything yet. Awareness is the first step. Example. A friend says, "I'm really struggling with my anxiety lately." Your mind instantly goes to, "Have you tried meditation? I read this article." Instead of speaking, you pause. You notice the impulse. You take a breath and say, "That sounds really hard.
What does it feel like? What's difficult? Silence can feel unbearable. You might worry that if you're not offering something, you're being useless. Remind yourself, presence is the offering. 2. Repeat back what you heard. Why it helps. Reflecting someone's words back to them shows that you're truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to talk. It also gives them space to go deeper. How to do it. When someone shares something vulnerable, pause before responding. Then say back to them in your own words what you just heard. You might say, "It sounds like you're feeling really overwhelmed and don't know where to start." Or, "So you're saying you feel invisible in your relationship, like your needs don't matter." Then stop. Let them respond. Example. Your partner says, "I feel like we never talk anymore." Instead of defending yourself or problem solving, you say, "You feel like we've lost connection, like we're just going through the motions." Your partner exhales. "Yeah, exactly." That small moment of being truly heard can shift everything. What's difficult? It can feel repetitive or awkward at first, but most people are so rarely truly heard that this simple act can be profoundly powerful. 3. Ask one layer deeper. Why it helps. Authentic empathy isn't just about surface emotions, it's about curiosity, wanting to understand the whole landscape of someone's inner world. How to do it. When someone shares something, instead of immediately responding, ask a question that invites them to go deeper. Try, "What does that bring up for you? How long have you been feeling this way? What's the hardest part about it?" Example. A friend says, "I'm annoyed with my boss." Instead of saying, "Yeah, bosses can be frustrating," you ask, "What specifically is getting to you?" They pause, then say, "I think it's that I feel like I'm not trusted, like nothing I do is good enough." Now you're in the real conversation. What's difficult? You might worry that you're prying or being too intense, but most people are grateful when someone cares enough to ask deeper questions instead of staying on the surface. 4. Sit in silence without filling it. Why it helps. Empathy often lives in
Learning to tolerate silence teaches your nervous system that discomfort is not dangerous. How to do it? Next time someone shares something heavy and then goes quiet, resist the urge to fill the space. Let the silence sit for 5, 10, 15 seconds. Breathe. Stay present with your body. Let them feel their feelings without you managing the moment. Example. A family member talks about grief, then trails off and looks down. You feel the urge to say, "They're in a better place now," or "At least you have good memories." Instead, you just sit. You let the sadness be there. After a moment, they look up and say, "Thank you for just being here." What's difficult? Silence can feel like failure, like you're not doing enough. Remind yourself, your calm, steady presence is doing more than any words could. 5. Feel it in your body. Why it helps? Authentic empathy is not just intellectual, it's somatic. Tuning into your own body while listening helps you stay emotionally present instead of detached. How to do it? When someone is sharing, notice what happens in your own body. Does your chest tighten? Does your throat close? Does your stomach drop? Those sensations are your body resonating with theirs. Don't push them away, just notice them. Breathe into them. Let yourself feel a little bit of what they're feeling without losing yourself in it. Example. A friend is describing a panic attack. As you listen, your own chest gets tight and your breathing gets shallow. Instead of shutting down, you place a hand on your chest, take a slow breath, and stay with them. You're not absorbing their panic,
You're letting it move through you just enough to truly understand. What's difficult? If you're not used to feeling emotions in your body, this can be overwhelming. Start small. Notice one sensation. Breathe with it for 10 seconds. That's enough. 6. Share your own vulnerability sparingly. Why it helps? Sometimes sharing your own experience can deepen connection, but it needs to be in service of the other person, not a hijacking of their moment. How to do it? If you do share a similar experience, keep it brief and always bring the focus back to them. You might say, "I went through something like that once, and it was really hard. What's it like for you?" Example: a colleague is stressed about public speaking. You say, "I used to get so anxious before presentations. It felt like my heart would explode. How does it feel for you?" You've offered a small piece of yourself to normalize their experience, then immediately returned the attention to them. What's difficult? It's easy to get carried away and make the conversation about you. Set a mental timer. 30 seconds of your story, then back to them. 7. Practice empathy with yourself. Why it helps? You can't authentically empathize with others if you're harsh and dismissive with your own feelings. Self-empathy builds the muscle. How to do it? When you notice a strong emotion in yourself, shame, anger, sadness, pause. Place a hand on your heart or chest. Say to yourself, silently or out loud, "This is really hard right now. I'm feeling this because it matters to me. It makes sense that I feel this way." Example: you make a mistake at work and your inner voice says, "You're so stupid." You pause, place a hand on your chest, and say, "I'm frustrated because I wanted to do well. That's okay. I'm learning." What's difficult? Self-compassion can feel indulgent or weak at first, but it's the foundation of being able to hold space for others without collapsing or detaching. When you practice authentic empathy consistently, relationships begin to shift. You don't become someone who always knows what to say, but you become someone who people feel safe with. They start sharing more, going deeper, trusting you with the vulnerable parts of themselves. Conversations feel less exhausting because you're not performing or managing. You're just being present. And presence, it turns out, is restful, not draining. Some relationships deepen. People who are distant start opening up. Connections that felt surface level become more honest, more nourishing. Some relationships fade. People who are only comfortable with you when you are fixing, advising, or staying surface level may pull away when you stop playing that role. That can hurt, but it also makes space for healthier connections. Inside,
You develop more ease with discomfort. You stop needing to control or fix every emotional moment. You can sit with someone's tears, anger, or confusion without your nervous system going into emergency mode. You also notice more freedom to feel your own emotions. When you stop treating feelings as problems to solve, you stop running from your own inner life. You become more integrated, more whole. This is not a destination. You will still have moments where you jump to advice, where you deflect, where you feel uncomfortable and want to escape. That's part of being human. But over time, those moments become less automatic and more conscious. You catch yourself faster. You course correct. You apologize when you miss the mark and try again. Think back to that opening moment, your friend at the coffee shop, gripping the cup, voice shaking, saying, "I feel like such a failure." In the past, you might have jumped in with reassurance or advice, filled the silence, or steered the conversation away from the pain. Now, with everything you've learned, the same moment looks different. You still feel the discomfort. You still notice the urge to fix or distract. But instead, you take a breath. You let the silence sit for a moment. You look at your friend, really look, and see the weight they're carrying. Then you say, simply, "That sounds so hard. What does it feel like?" And your friend exhales. They don't need you to have the answer. They just needed to not be alone in the feeling. That's authentic empathy. Not a performance, not a script. Just presence, curiosity, and the willingness to feel with someone without needing to fix them. It's not always comfortable, but it's real. And in a world that teaches us to avoid, deflect, and manage, choosing to stay, choosing to feel with someone, is one of the most generous things you can offer. Right now, you can gently notice your own patterns. Where do you jump to fixing? Where do you deflect with your own stories? Where do you feel uncomfortable with silence? You don't need to judge those impulses. They made sense once. They kept you safe. But now, you have choices. One pause,
One deeper question. One moment of sitting with discomfort.
Instead of running from it. That's where authentic empathy grows. Not in grand gestures, but in small, brave choices to stay present when everything in you wants to leave. Thank you for watching this all the way through. If this exploration of authentic empathy resonated with you, consider subscribing for more videos on emotional growth, relationships, and inner work. And if you'd like, share in the comments. Where do you most struggle with staying present? When others are hurting or when you are?